All right, all right. Thank you so much for tuning into the Jenna Ben Show, guys. I'm your host, Jenna Benamy, and today's a very special show because I have my first and only in-person guest in my studio. This will actually be one of the last shows that I'm recording before I move and rebuild a brand new studio, guys. It's like destroying me to have to give all this up, but I'm glad to be sharing this moment with none other than pro boxer Gabriel Rosado. Gabe he was actually the very first combat sports guest I had on the show before I realized what I wanted to do. And so here he is with us today. We're going to recap his story and kind of get educated on boxing a little bit and what's to come for him. So welcome, bud. I'm glad to see you.
Yep,
cheers.
for sure. Cheers.
We're sipping on some drinks. You might get my my buzzed voice, guys. All right, so let's recap your record. So you've got a record of 25-13, one draw, one no contest.
Yeah.
Puerto Rican background from Philly.
Yeah.
Okay, so knowing you and knowing kind of how smooth you are and the charisma this guy's got, opportunities I feel like come your way because you just are who you are. Yeah. So I kind of want to like dig deeper and see what you were like as a kid.
As a kid, I think I was always very confident. You know what I'm saying? I was always confident. I always did what I wanted to do. Definitely was never a follower. Was always kind of like stubborn, like it's my way or no way.
Yeah.
Bossy with my cousins. Fought a lot. But always had a big sense of humor.
Yeah.
So I was always like, I was like that dude who could fuck you up at the same time I had jokes.
Yes.
It was like, right. I was like, I would always, my favorite show growing up was Martin Lawrence.
Okay.
Right. Martin Payne. Right.
I have to tell you before you finish that story, those green couches that Martin had?
Yeah.
We had those too. Oh, so when the show came out, my sister and I looked at each other and we're like, what the
yeah.
We got the Martin couches, the green leather couches.
Martin was my shit. So like, I would go to school and I would I would mimic Jerome and Otis and all that shit. And I put peanut chews. So peanut chews is a chocolate, like a little chocolate bar from Philly.
Okay.
And I'd put it in my teeth so I can have that, that yuck mouth look that Otis had.
Yeah.
And I'd go into class and I start talking shit and I get kicked out of the class. I get in trouble.
Of course
they call my mom like he's doing it again. But that was my shit. That was my shit. Everybody, everybody laughed. It was funny.
Shanae.
I did the Shanae and everything. I swear I did them all.
We didn't rehearse this. It's funny. Like we grew up polar opposites, but we had Martin in common.
Word. Like if you don't love Martin,
right. Right. Okay. So now your charisma took you through high school. I remember you telling me about just enjoying fighting. Like fighting was just fun for you. I can't understand that thought process.
Because it's a mindset, fighting really is funny to me because, obviously the older I get, the more I understand the craft and, the mental aspect of it. And really when it comes down to it, it's 90% mental, You get fighters, I get a lot of guys ask me questions. Hey, am I too old to start? Or when do you think? And it's always asking these questions. It's like, as a fighter, you can't have that mindset. Yeah. It's like, you got to just do it.
Yeah.
And if you don't got that mindset, then you're really not cut out for it. Honestly.
Well, that's how you did it.
Yeah. So ain't nobody had to tell me nothing. I didn't need confirmation from anyone. I didn't need no one to tell me like, yeah, you got it. Like I could care less if you believed in me or you didn't believe in me. It wasn't about nobody. It was that I was a fighter. It was in my DNA. I loved to fight. I enjoyed it. And that's where my mind was at. It's like you have it or you don't. Like the fighters that are special are just meant to be fighters. Like Floyd Mayweather, he's meant to be a fighter. Yeah, he's flashy and all that crazy shit, but that he's a dog. He's really a dog. Like Pacquiao, he's a dog where he comes from, right? He used to train with no shoes. He's just a dog, right? So that's in you or it's not. You know what I'm saying? So, the fighters that became really big stars and things like that are the ones that just had that natural gift. They just had it.
I remember you telling me about the people in your life who doubted you when you got started. Tell us.
Yeah, just just a couple people would laugh like, "Oh shit, you're gonna start boxing?" I was 18 years old, so yeah, and boxing's a sport where you have to. Usually, people grow up into the sport. They start at the age of 6. They learn the craft young. They have amateur fights by the time they're 11, 12.
Oh, wow.
By the time they're 18 years old, they won all types of tournaments and things like that, and they're very experienced. So me, I started at 18, but it was just because I was a fan of the sport. So I always admire the greats, and I'd watch all the fights, and I'd mimic them. So I would practice. I would get my mom's bag of rice when we do grocery. We get a big bag of rice. It was huge, and I would tie it up.
In that like canvas kind of bag.
Yeah. I would tie it up and I'd beat the shit out of it to the point where like all the rice would end up spilling out and I'd get in trouble for it. But I would literally practice the technique.
Yeah.
I would watch these guys and practice technique. So when I started late, I kind of had like, my mind wrapped around it. You know what I mean? Like it kind of came naturally.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Now I've started training recently. I'm not ever planning on using it. It's just, I feel like if I'm going to be talking about the sport and interviewing these guys, I kind of want to understand it. And I've fallen in love with it. My coach, Anthony Gonzalez, I've made sure, I'm like, listen, as much as this is just kind of a hobby for me, I want to make sure that I understand that my form is on point, my technique is on point, so that I can really relate.
For sure.
And so he's been good at calling me out. My last question to him was, when I jab, I feel like I don't have the same force from like my hips and my foot as I do when I cross, because the cross comes naturally to me. I'm also right-handed. And so, when I punch, I turn my hip and the ball of my foot, right? And so what's your advice?
Because your power punch comes from your back leg. So you're punching, you're standing orthodox. Your back leg is your right foot. Okay. So you have full twerk into that punch.
Right.
To the right. But the way you do it with a jab is, on the jab, you push off the ball of your back foot. And you step into the jab. So so people think a jab is just this, which it is. But I can jab you all types of, I could jab you 10 different ways.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just the understanding of that. It's just, you have to understand that. So I can go up jab, I can go slip jab, I can go power jab and push off my back foot. You can actually throw a jab to hurt someone. It's just, you have to know, because a lot of people think that you fight with your hands. Obviously, that's what makes the connection.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's the force from the body.
It's your foundation, right? So most fighters that, older fighters, that like their finish is because their legs go out. Once your legs go out, it's a wrap. Because you fight with your legs. I mean, you need balance. You need proper distance. You know what I'm saying? Like boxing is inches of seconds. So it's a matter of you slipping away from that from 2 inches. Like if you slip this way, boom, just that's, so you slipped literally probably 1.5 inches. But that saved you, right?
Yeah.
So that's how boxing is, inches of seconds.
Right.
So the moment you lose that rhythm with your feet, it's a wrap.
I can relate to this. I can understand it, because when I first started...
And I ain't trying to hit her, y'all. I'm just making an example. I'm swinging lightly, slip over. There we go.
So when I first started, obviously, I think it's natural to assume that your endurance builds over time.
Yeah.
So when I first started, I was slower. And I find myself moving faster now. I'm also doing a lot of cardio, I'm hiking and stuff, but I will say this. So I think it's been just a couple of weeks now, and some guy who's like a coach in the gym, not my coach, he came up to my coach, and he was like, yo, you're doing really, he's like, every time I see you, you get better and better, literally every single time. And I'm like, oh, that made me feel good. Cause like I put my heart into it, like I really like, if my technique is off, I'll fix it myself before coach can even say anything.
But see, that's the key of boxing, right? You're doing it for training, right? But you're not, obviously you don't want to be a fighter.
Yeah.
But you're doing it for training, right? And the thing is, the fact that you're learning the craft, it gets you hooked.
Yeah.
So that's my whole thing with a lot of, like, boxing right now is becoming like very mainstream.
Yeah.
Especially in the fitness world.
Yeah.
But it almost drives me crazy because it's like, I love it that people want to box, but I hate that a lot of, and I'm not going to name names, but I hate that a lot of it are not showing the proper technique.
Right.
And that drives me nuts because then that's more of a trend rather than actually learning. So like if you go somewhere and you think it's cool to hit a bag and you're hitting the bag and you're loving that shit, but like if it's like 2 months go by and you're not punching that bag properly, it's going to get really old. It's a trend. It's like, all right, you're tired of this shit because what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. Well, and you can get injuries.
Yeah. So it's like the moment you start learning technique and you're learning the proper form, the proper, like, you know, rotation, footwork, your speed increases, your power increases. Now your mind starts thinking different. You start knowing how to put the punches together. Now you're hooked because now it's like learning an instrument, right?
Yeah.
You're learning how to play the saxophone. You know, you start off shitty.
Yeah.
But then you hitting that shit hard, like you're like a month in.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably not gonna get off that shit, right? I would love to play the saxophone, by the way.
Really?
But I would. But that's my thing.
You just want it for the Mac Daddy aspect.
Right? Pull up on somebody like, yo. But that's what I mean. Is like once you start learning something, you're hooked.
Yeah.
So that's how boxing is. The moment you start really learning the craft and you're understanding there's different levels to jabs, there's different ways to throw a cross, there's different ways to step, understanding distance, that's like, now you're learning a craft. Now shit pop off. Hopefully it doesn't have to, but if shit popped off, then I mean, you're really gonna do some shit. But if you're just in the gym and you're just punching the bag, and the trainer's like, good job, you're doing great, but your feet all fucked up.
Yeah.
Somebody pulled up on you in the street and you got to use your hands.
Yeah. No, you're going to follow. So the one thing, I could talk to you about this the full show. So the footing now, it's not quite like a 90 degree, but like your left foot is in front and then your back, right? And so it's kind of like your back foot is like at a 45 degree angle.
And it's all about the width apart has to be right. If the width of your legs are wide, then you're on counter mode.
Okay.
Now counter punching is like you're setting a guy up and your feet are wide, and when he throws a shot, you slip and you counter. You're sitting on your shots when your feet are wide. You're not going to be able to really make quick moves off of a wide stance.
Makes sense.
Right? So when your feet are closer, now you're more on speed. Now you're able to step off more. You're able to counter faster, right? So when the feet are closer, you're more on the boxing type of vibe. When the feet are wide, you're trying to sit down on some shit. You know what I mean? That's the difference of understanding like foot positioning. I'm
gonna keep that in mind when I train again.
Yeah. First, I'll give you the perfect example because he's the most famous boxer, right? Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah. When
Floyd Mayweather counters with a right hand, his stance is really wide and he's like off the back foot. He wants you to make a move. The moment you make a move, he hits you with that quick counter right. I mean, when his feet are closer is more when he's on his boxing. You know, you can study Floyd and see how his foot, and he has one of the best footworks, you know, in boxing, period. That's what makes him so great is his footwork.
So really isn't that a tell though for his opponent when they see the wide, a tell, like they can anticipate his next move when they see the wide stance?
Yeah, but the thing is it's all timing. So it's like your timing against his timing. His timing is 9 out of 10 times is always going to be better than the other guy, you know, because he's just gifted like that.
I was going to say, how did he get so fast?
Is speed? I wouldn't say he's not the fastest fighter.
Okay.
But with him is he's mastered the craft. Like he's literally mastered, you know, the craft of he can brawl, he can box, he can jab. I'm saying he's mastered it. So, that's just, he's earned where he's at. So it really comes down to him just mastering it. I feel like a fighter that beats Floyd has to be a fighter that's willing to like put it all out there, be in top condition. It has to fight him like dead on his chest. You know what I mean? Like just has to be right there, like, like stuck on him. Because he's just very elusive and he doesn't get tired. His stamina is really good.
Is that genetics, stamina? Because that's something I talk to MMA fighters about as well.
I don't think it's genetics. It's mainly mental. You know what I'm saying? It's mental. It's like, you got two guys fighting. Eventually they're gonna both get tired because we're human. We're not machines, right? You're gonna get tired. But it's the fighter that knows how to manage it mentally that overcomes the fatigue rather than the guy that starts breaking down mentally. Because when you break down mentally, you start believing you're tired, and now you start feeding into that. So now your body starts doing what your mind's thinking. Oh shit, I'm tired. Now your body's like, oh shit, we tired.
Yeah.
We tired.
Bye.
Because your mind is the boss.
Yeah.
Your mind's the boss, right? But if your mind goes, fuck it, let's go, let's rock. And you give yourself that, let's go. Your body follows.
Does it? Now I'm asking, because when I hike, I've just started working out, guys, like probably, I don't know, 3 weeks, a month ago. So my body is still kind of getting there. And I work out every single day, whether it's boxing or hiking. And I go the hard way for the hikes. And I'm like, my endurance is growing, it's developing, but there are still moments where I'm like, my body can go, like my thighs can handle the elevation and like all the muscle work, but my breathing, I feel like I have to stop and like catch my breath, but I'm a mouth breather too.
Yeah. Well, breathing is like a technique. You have to learn that. You
have to learn it, and your body has to adapt.
And it takes a while to really like learn how to breathe properly. So like with me, as my career went on, I was able to kind of like understand that technique and like, how to, because you'll never see me in a fight where I'm looking like fucking dead tired, like I'm about to pass out. So really it just comes down to being relaxed too, not getting so tense, just relaxing, just being like in that moment, right? So for you, I would say like take a moment and take like a deep breath, like take a few deep breaths and then just keep it moving.
So I do, because, like I want to shed a few pounds, and like for fat loss, you have to keep your heart rate at like not super high, right? It's got to be like at a middle level.
Okay.
So it doesn't make sense to like, I used to just power through, but that doesn't have the same effect. So but yeah, I'm getting stronger. So figuring it out.
You can power through it.
I feel like, but it's okay to take a breather and let my heart rate kind of like stabilize, you know? And I know,
and you got to remember is like, it's muscle memory. Like your body is getting used to something different. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I used to be very fit. You haven't met me very fit, but I used to like.
I don't know what you're talking about. Like you are fit.
I mean, this is like you guys, COVID, I became just mush. Like, okay, I'm not 500 pounds, but I like whatever. So I'm rebuilding muscle. I'm getting back into the zone. So, all right, Gabe, back to your story. Now you told us the story of how you got into boxing late for being a pro athlete. So you got into it at 18.
Yeah. And
I know there were like people telling you left and right that you couldn't do it. It was too late.
Yeah.
But you said, F them.
Yeah.
Why? Like, how did you decide that this is what you were going to do as a career?
I don't know. I just knew it. Like I had like flyers of and posters of like my favorite fighters, Holyfield, Tyson, Trinidad, all those guys, James Toney, Pernell Whitaker. And I was like, I wanted to be like these guys. So I was like, yo, when I pick up boxing, like when I go to a boxing gym, I'm gonna do this like on a world-class level. And that was my mindset. And I just like, I don't know, I just had a crazy amount of confidence. Like I just believed in myself and I didn't need approval from anyone. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And it's that at the same time you gotta think like it's like a beautiful thing to be young right? And had that mindset.
Yeah.
Because sometimes as a grown ass man, I have to remind myself to think like that kid.
Yes,
And
because you think safe now.
Yeah, because sometimes, yeah, you know, I get in my thoughts, but I'll be like, stop bitching, man, up, man. You know, like I'll literally tell myself like, stop bitching, because you know when you're young like that, you're fearless, and I was fearless. I didn't give a shit. Like nobody could tell me nothing. I knew what I was gonna do, whatever. So like, there's times where I do, as a grown ass man, tell myself like, yo,
get back to that.
You got this.
But at 18, you had nothing to lose. You had no money to lose, no career opportunity to lose. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the difference when we end up in our 30s and 40s and we're thinking about a shift in career.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's scary, you know?
But I love, but I was watching a video of Kanye West, right? I love Kanye. Okay. I love Kanye.
Yeah.
But Kanye was talking about like, and it's so real because I really believe it. He's like, yo, you only live once. Like, why hold back from, if you see opportunity, go for it. And that's how I've been. If I see opportunity, I go for it.
But you didn't see opportunity, you created opportunity for yourself. And
but you know what? I literally had visions of me being on a big stage. Like I would daydream about it, or like it was my reality in my head. I created a world in my head. Yeah. When I was a kid, I created this. Like I was like, yo, like I created me like walking into the ring on HBO and like being in the fights and like, you know, all that shit. Like, you know, I'd fucking fake fight in my room. Just like, you know, like I'm on HBO and the commentators are talking. Like I literally like lived it in my head. Yeah. So in my head, it was like a reality. It was like I believed it. Right. Like, this is my world. When it happened, like it wasn't like I never was shocked. I never was like amazed. Like it was like, oh shit, I'm here. Yeah. Like I'm supposed to be here. I mean, that was like my mindset.
So I'm accustomed to interviewing UFC guys mostly. So I know a lot about MMA and I'm learning about boxing through you. A new fighter in the UFC is probably going to get offered 10 and 10 to fight. So how does it work with boxing? Like for your first pro fight? It
just all depends because there's levels. Like if a guy's coming off of the Olympics and goes pro, he's getting paid off the rip because he's an Olympian.
Right.
Or even if he's an elite amateur and then go to the Olympics, but even if you know he has a Golden Glove winner, under 19 tournament, you know, all those big tournaments and amateurs, even he's, you know, having a different route.
Okay.
So, but a guy like me who only had 11 amateur fights, no experience, whatever. Like I'm starting from the bottom.
What's like, the bottom in general?
The bottom is like, I think my pro debut I made $800.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like $800.
See, UFC fighters complaining about $20,000.
Yeah, but $20,000, that's not their pro debut. $20,000, that's like, you know, that's like.
Oh, right. That's UFC because nobody debuts pro in the UFC.
That's no, they do because it's amateur and then it's pros.
Yeah, but the UFC doesn't pick up people. I mean,
or like somebody will like
they'll go pro in other organizations like LFA or Bellator or whatever.
Yeah, but believe me, when those UFC guys first started, those MMA guys, like they're not getting paid shit.
Right. Yeah. So that's the debate now. Yeah. It's like, you know, why do boxers make so much as opposed to MMA guys?
Because it's the best sport in the world.
Okay. But on behalf of Uriah Hall, who is a pro MMA fighter and a friend of mine, and we've had multiple discussions on the matter, he's like, why though? He's like, in MMA, there's like a combination. It's mixed martial arts. You need to actually know more to fight MMA than you do to be a boxer. So what do you say to that? No?
No, because look, like, it's, I respect MMA.
Yeah.
It's a combat sport, right? It's a tough sport. I'm not saying it's not. But boxing, it's a sport that started, you know, this is like fucking huge, you know, like Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah.
Sugar Ray Robinson. Joe Louis, Jack Dempsey, Rocky Marciano, Jake LaMotta. Like, these are legendary names.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali. Like, you understand
They're
what I'm
the
saying?
OGs, like they started.
Boxing, but I'm so you go Muhammad Ali, then you go era of Mike Tyson, then you go into the era of De La Hoya, then you go into the era of Floyd Mayweather. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's so much greatness in the sport.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's 12 rounds of fighting.
Right.
It's
so 12 3-minute rounds.
So here's the thing about boxing. Boxing is like a fight where it's punishment, right? Constant punishment.
Okay.
And it's chess. So you're trying to figure out my moves. I'm trying to figure out your moves. We're trying to beat each other to the punch. We're constantly throwing blows.
Yeah.
For 12 rounds, right? So it's more trauma to the head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
Where MMA, if a guy catches me with a good shot, I can grab him and pin him down and be on the ground now, and I'm chilling. And I could be on the ground, and I'm not even trying to come at the MMA dudes. I let y'all do it.
He said he's chilling.
No, but I'm just saying. But I'm just saying, there's different things you can do in an MMA fight. Like if I get rocked, I could literally grab the dude and I could hold on to him.
Yeah.
Where boxing, the referee's not gonna let that happen. You get if you get rocked and you grab your opponent, the referee's gonna quickly jump in and break that shit up. And you're still like wobbly, you're still dizzy. You got to get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. Plus, you get points taken off for excessive holding. So you're constantly punching.
So as a newbie who's been training,
I respect the MMA guys. So
yeah, no, I know you do. I know you do.
But of course, I'm a boxer.
Of course, you're biased.
I'm gonna ride for my sport. I ain't biased. I'm speaking facts, but all right.
So I've been training, right? It is exhausting to punch for 3 minutes at a time. Yeah. And then, so you guys get 1 minute breaks in between each round.
Yeah.
Your fights have all been like 10 to 12 rounds? Okay.
For like the last 12 years.
Man. See, here's the thing about you, Gabe. I know Gabe in real life. We're real life friends, okay? You go out, you drink, you do your thing, like, and then you wake up in the morning and you're on your grind, like working, and you have your gym and everything. How do you do that?
No, I have my fun, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm always like, I don't feel right if I'm not working out. If I'm having a little too many cheat meals, it doesn't make me feel good. So I'm always like, I'm very, and it's not even, I don't even do it for boxing. I do it for me.
Right.
Like I work out now, not because I'm staying ready for a fight. I work out now because that's my life. Like I want to be in shape. Like I want to look good in my fucking swimming trunks.
Yeah.
No, but it's just like, I feel like, yo, we have one body, right? Like one life, right? And it's like, I feel like take care of it. Have your fun. But I feel my mindset is like, if I want to be the best that I can be and be me at my full potential, like I should take care of myself.
Yep.
I shouldn't let myself fall off and be fatigued or be whatever. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I should be on my tip-top shape. It's interesting. Like when I work out, that's like when like all these ideas start coming up to me.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, I'm working out and I'm getting like, cause I work out by myself most of the time. And I'm like getting myself going, once I start working that sweat and then the music's dumping, cause I'll put the music all the way up. It's like my brain starts working. And it's like, I'm in my thoughts, but I'm training, I'm working out. Like I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean?
Is that how you came up with the protein powder and the pre-workout?
Yeah. Well, it's something where it's like, I feel like boxers are not really like educated on supplements. You know what I mean? I know I wasn't, and once I started taking the right stuff, I felt better. I felt like, better recovery. I was able to do my workouts, recover faster and hit a hard workout the next day. So it's just something I wanted to do.
So what is it called? He was supposed to bring me some, and then
I got you. KGR.
KGR. Okay. Yep. But you changed the name of your gym. Your gym is now called
Badlands Boxing.
Right. And this necklace, I've been eyeing it. You guys, I have this thing. I'm like the chain collector. I mean, I have a cute little chain on, but yeah. So you created this. This is like your new like symbol.
Yeah, it has the Puerto Rico flag on it, but it's like this is a combination of my heritage. So it's what makes a Puerto Rican. It's the mask comes from Spain.
Okay.
Like medieval Spain, right? And then when they brought it to the island of Puerto Rico, the Taino Indians, the original people from the island, and then the Africans, they made it into their own thing, and they made it into like a dance bomba, whatever. So it's kind of like, it's just, it's what is it? It's my heritage. Yeah.
So did you?
And to this day, like Puerto Rican parade, they put on the outfits and the masks, and they dance the bomba and shit like that. And
cool.
It's just a vibe. So the thing is, this is from the Badlands, where I come from, Philly.
Okay.
It's predominantly Puerto Rican. So, the influence from the island is heavy in Philly. So you see these paintings everywhere.
So you didn't create this. This is something you're.
Yeah, you see what's custom. It's the way I wanted it to be. But
right.
There's a ton of masks. You can kind of like freestyle your own mask, right? And it represents that. But yeah, it was like Badlands comes from my hood, North Philly.
Yeah.
Which predominantly is Puerto Rican, and so it's like kind of a combination of Badlands and my heritage.
I saw on Instagram that you had you had this painted on the wall.
Yeah, I got it painted. I got two of them painted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In your gym.
Yeah, and then I just did a dope new painting of me as Leo Sperino, and then Michael B. Jordan as Creed, like on a face-off.
Okay.
So sick, man. My boy killed it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really dope.
I gotta come check it out.
Yeah, it's really dope. Yeah, you gotta come through.
Well, a while ago, this guy offered me some privates.
I have a good excuse. It's not even an excuse. It's a legit reason why I, by mistake, didn't show up. So I work out.
Oh my God.
No,
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Oh, all right.
But that's okay. No, he actually, dude, I got all of my workout gear and went to meet this guy at his gym. We were going to work out. And then he was like, huh? I was like, yo, I'm here.
Yo, I felt so bad. But the thing was, my boy L, who's a Marine.
Yeah.
He was at the doctor's. He was getting, he got hurt really bad in Iraq.
Okay. Oh, he's bringing up the war stories. He's laying it on thick.
Real. So look, no. So he was just, I think he had a surgery or something like that, and I had to pick him up. He couldn't drive, so I picked him up, and that's what it was.
No, that's legit. That's legit. I dig it.
I'm sorry.
No, but you know what that means though. Now I think it's like you owe me like 5 sessions.
I got you. Pull up.
And then I want like the technical training. That's a new tattoo, huh?
No, I've been at this.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I got a new one right here on my thigh.
What is it?
Taina Indian. Taina, that's Taino.
Oh, okay.
Taina, yeah.
Okay.
I'm really into my
your people.
My culture, my people.
Yeah.
I just came from PR, like I loved it.
I really want to go.
Yeah, it was such a good time.
I feel like Puerto Ricans are very charming. Just as a people.
You go to Puerto Rico, people are so polite. The hospitality is so great. It's just people are well mannered, respectful, but they love to drink. They love to party. They just love life. I mean, it's just such a great vibe.
I feel that way about like just Latino culture in general. I learned that from my late best friend who was Peruvian. You don't think just in general Latinos are warm? Like who's not warm?
I'm not gonna say, what you mean? You trying to let me down? What's wrong with you? I'm
like, who?
No, because you gotta remember, like Latino is really widespread out. So there's like, and it's not even, it's just a culture thing.
Yeah.
Like, I speak for being Puerto Rican is Caribbean vibes. It's just a different vibe. It's just music. It's island vibes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's colorful. It's like, you know what I mean? So the vibe is, it's just like, it's different.
I get that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know we talked a little bit about compensation, but I'm curious how boxing can go from $800 to, I mean, I'm not asking how much you make, but someone in your position with your level of experience, how many, so you have, what was it, 20? You have 38, you have 40 pro fights. So someone in your position is making how much?
So the thing is, like, boxing is all about getting ranked in the top 10.
Okay.
Right. So when you get ranked in the top 10, that puts you in position to fight for world titles. So there's always like, it's not the same for everybody, but there's always like minimums and things like that. You know what I mean? Really where the money comes from is just like popularity, because you can have guys that are champions that really don't make good money because they're not really known. And or maybe the weight class is a weight class that is not televised. Because you can have champions that fight at a really low weight class, but being that they fight at a low weight class, the knockout ratio is really low. Wow. So they feel like it's not TV friendly. So when you don't get that TV money, you're not really making a big purse. So like it really comes down to like entertainment, fan base, things like that. And the thing is that now more than ever, I feel like boxing is changing, where I think like it's really not going to be based on how it used to be, where like you build and grow a fighter. I feel like now fights are happening because of popularity, regardless of the record, regardless, like no one cares.
Jake Paul v. Ben Askren. Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. So Ben is probably making the biggest purse of his life.
Through Triller.
Fighting a guy that's not even an elite boxer. Yeah. But what's making sense out of this situation? It's entertainment, right? You got Jake, who has a big following, and then you got him fighting people that think is a fighter in his like let's be real. With Ben, he's not in his prime.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's not in shape. He's out of shape.
Well, I'm sure he's in camp right now.
He's not in shape.
Okay.
He's not. I'm a fighter. Like I can look at guys. I could tell. Trust me, he's not in shape, and he's gonna get hurt. He's gonna get hurt.
You think Ben's gonna get hurt?
Oh yeah, he's gonna.
Wow, this is different than every other UFC fighter I've asked about this.
Because this is boxing. This ain't UFC. It's different. Like because you got to understand, Jake Paul.
But he's not a pro.
Yeah, but Jake Paul been boxing for years now.
Okay.
He's boxing with real boxers. He's boxing with real boxing coaches. Like BJ, his trainer, BJ Flores, like I'm friends with BJ. BJ is a very knowledgeable guy when it comes to boxing. Like, yeah, it might look all cute on the gram when they're posting, but when they working, they working.
Right.
BJ's not gonna like have him looking crazy. So Jake Paul can fight. You know what I'm saying? But he's gonna be smart. He's not gonna fight a guy that really got hands right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he's going to fight a guy that's known to just be a wrestler who got concussed in his last fight. With that flying knee.
It was strategic. He did call out Conor McGregor, which is,
well, yeah, and then that's a crazy bag. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, but how about Amanda Nunes going up against Jake Paul?
No, we can't do that.
She would kill him.
No, she won't.
She would kill him, Gabe.
See,
what do you guys think?
See, this is where all right, she's too small, first of all. She won't kill him.
Okay. So you're saying her reach?
She's too small, her weight class. She's not as big as him.
Okay.
So when it comes to boxing, it's different.
Okay.
Weight is a big advantage. He'll probably have like 50 pounds on her, which is like massive. He hits her with a right hand, he's gonna hurt her bad. So it's like, that's why we have weight classes in boxing. That's why you have welterweight, lightweight.
MMA has that too, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, she got skills. I'm not saying she don't got skills.
Yeah.
You put her in with a big ass dude that weighs 200 pounds, like, those punches is going to feel like nothing. She hurting motherfuckers at her weight class, but she's not going to hurt a grown ass 200-pound man who who's sparring with other 200-pound guys and is absorbing a whole different type of power. You get
This is
what
an
I'm
interesting
trying to say?
perspective. Yeah,
And here's
I do.
another thing. I hate when people talk. Well, not that I hate when people, but I hate. Let me find another way to put this.
Let's go.
No, look. I don't like when people talk about a woman fighting a man. It bothers me because it's like if domestic violence is real, then let's not talk about a girl fighting a guy. Period.
It's only because she's the GOAT.
Yeah, but it should never be cool. It should never be cool for a fight to happen between a guy and a girl. I don't give a damn how good she is, because then what message is that sent out to like?
It's two consenting adults, though.
Yeah, but we can't do that. We can't say, oh, domestic violence is real. So you can't say like, oh, this is cool because this, like, nah, at the end of the day, that's still a woman. That's still a man. Let's play our lanes. Run your shit with the women, run your shit with the man. Because that's like hypothetically speaking, LeBron James wants to, play in the women's NBA. Yeah. When you start scoring 110 points at halftime, don't say shit. Not even the game ain't even over. It's at halftime. 110 points at halftime.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna come off so wrong. They'll be like, oh, he's a son of a bitch. No. First of all, I got two daughters. So
he's
like,
very supportive of women.
I'm all about my girl. Like, I just took my daughter yesterday to play soccer, and then I took her to her tennis, and I showed my daughters how to box.
Yeah. Are they good?
What I'm saying?
Are they good, your daughters?
Yeah, they're very athletic. They're good. But it's like I'm not gonna put my girl to spar a dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't ever want to see my daughter getting hit by a dude. It's crazy to me.
I mean, I get that.
It's crazy to me. We just gotta, like, it's okay to fuck just girls up.
Right.
As a woman, like, be the GOAT on that lane.
Stay in your
lane. Dudes be the GOAT on.
Yeah, keep it separate. Well, I think you're onto something because no one's ever tried to mix, right?
I don't think it would ever happen.
I don't know. I think we live in a time where never say never.
I'll take that shit back. Yeah. I'll take that shit back.
I think if there's enough money behind it.
Yeah, I think that shit is just weird.
Yeah. What's one thing you hear the most from the haters? You have a lot of really supportive people on your social media.
You know what's crazy? Like, I really get, and shout out to like the people that follow me, the people that support me, like 100. Because it's crazy. I really get more love than anything.
You do.
And
I
it's
see
like
that.
really rare for somebody, it's really rare for someone to go on my page and talk some shit. And the funny thing is, I don't even have to delete it if somebody does talk shit. Because like he'll get ganged up. He'll be like, hold the fuck. I'll get all my people just coming at him. For real.
Yeah.
But it's like, you got your haters every now and then, but for the most part, it's always love.
Yeah.
And if somebody gets real crazy, I'll delete.
Yeah. You don't respond. You just delete.
And I'll block them.
That's the smart.
Like I delete and block their ass. Like, it's too crazy. You know what I'm saying?
So what do you say to yourself when things get hard and overwhelming? Since I've known you, you've just been this like joy to be around. Every single time we've hung out, I've seen you. You're like positive and there's a very light energy about you. Even when we're talking about business and like challenges, there's still, I don't know, you're just endlessly optimistic. What is that? What is that?
I think like being where I come from in Philly.
Yeah.
Once I got a taste of, oh shit, there's more Philly. It was like, boom. I mean, because I feel like when you make it out of Philly, like you can make it anywhere.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like you make it out of Philly, you make it anywhere. So like I appreciate that I come from that environment because I think that environment just molded me to be the type of man I am.
So you're saying perspective. You're saying I came from a rough life.
Yeah.
I made it out of there. Nothing's as bad as that.
Yeah, it's just of the environment. I mean, home was good.
Yeah.
Like home was good. Like, I mean, mom's worked multiple jobs, went to school, went to college.
Wow.
My mom was like, my mom would take me to museums and like, I would be so mad, but she like make me read history. Yeah. But here's the crazy shit. Now I love reading about history,
Yeah.
and I'm like so into it, but it's because my mom instilled that in me. But my environment, yeah, was fucked up, but it wasn't like home was fucked up.
Mhm.
I mean, my mom was a good mom. You know what I'm saying? And my dad was a good dad, you know what I'm saying? But you know, he had his ways.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But me and my dad have a solid relationship. Yeah.
Remind me again, they're still together?
No.
No.
They divorced when I was like 13.
Okay.
Yeah. That's when I went through my crazy phase.
Mhm.
Once they split up, and it was like my mom couldn't control me. My dad was like, so it was like, you know, I was kind of like doing me and just kind of being in the streets and things like that. So, yeah.
And you guys are good now, you and your dad?
Yeah. Me and my dad always been good. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? We've had our bumps and things like that, but it's like me being a man and me having 2 kids, I can have more sympathy and understand certain things. You know, my dad didn't have like the type of people I have in my life that give me advice. I mean, there's a ton of people I could lean on and talk to and get some real solid advice. Like my dad didn't have that type of people around him, you know. So I could I see it in a different way.
It takes so much strength and maturity to even make that statement, to be able to say, I'm going to look past all of the negligence or whatever it was, whatever his package was, and respond with compassion. And I love that. I think that like, so you guys know the man that you're hearing from right now, this is exactly who you are on a daily basis. This is who I've come to know. So I don't know, there's something very special about your energy, and I appreciate it. And I want to like kind of pass some wisdom on to the people listening who, you know, it's so easy to get bogged down with the hard times and to say, oh, this isn't working and this sucks and this is hard. But you don't do that. You're kind of just like, when a challenge is in front of you, I feel like you perceive it as an opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Cause it's like, I think I learned a lot from it in my fights.
Okay.
So like I took losses, right?
Yes.
But I maintained relevant and I maintained on a big stage.
Yeah.
But the reason was because me being so persistent and me just staying locked in and not allowing like the losses to like bring me down. Because boxing is different than any other sport, even in MMA. Like you can afford a loss in MMA, or you can afford a loss in like a basketball game, NBA, the major leagues, right? Because you play the next day. Where boxing is like one of those things where you take a loss, it holds you back. You know, you never know when you're going to get back on a big stage or something like that, right? And then me going through that and that mental like that battle, like having to deal with the media and the critics, and like, you know, and staying motivated and just keep working. And then you get that big break. It's like, all right, bet. This is my reason of why you don't stay down. So like I use that and I transition that over to like life, right? So like if an obstacle comes, I was like, all right, you know what I mean? Like we gotta figure this shit out.
You've proven to yourself time and time again that if you just persevere, you'll make it out okay.
Because it ain't gonna get no realer than a fight. So shit in life is like, whatever.
That's true. These athletes,
it ain't gonna get no realer than a fight. Like when, you know, I've been in fights where I had a detached retina.
Oh shit.
I was fighting blind. Detached retina, broken orbital bone.
Oh, I remember this.
I'm fighting through that. You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting through cuts over my eyes. I can't see. I'm bleeding. I'm fighting through that. So like when you go through something like that in the ring, your character is going to be exposed. Like, who are you? What are you made of? Right?
I want to read something I actually just posted today that I think is going to resonate with you. Winners are not afraid of losing, but losers are. Failure is part of the process of success. People who avoid failure also avoid success. And that's by Robert.
That's 100.
Kiyosaki.
That's 100. Because it's like, you know, the funny thing is, how many free throws did Michael Jordan miss? How many game-winning shots did Michael Jordan miss? Do you remember Michael Jordan for the shots he missed?
No.
No, you think of Michael Jordan as the GOAT.
Yeah.
Right? How many times did he fail? Like his high school coach, didn't start him. Right? So it's like, I think boxing is just, it's just one of those sports where it's like a loss is like, they make it such a big deal. And if you're able to overcome that, it's just gonna make you like a stronger person. And like I'm in a position in my life now where like I don't need boxing. Like if I didn't fight again, like I'm good.
Right? You have your gym, you have your supplements, you have your.
But it's more on the mindset.
Okay.
It's not even about like I'm good because I got this and I got that and I got this going on. It's not even about that. It's just like on a mental standpoint, like I'm good because I feel like I don't have anything to prove. You know what I'm saying? Like I've left it all in the ring. So it's like I ain't cowered down from shit. I never quit.
Yeah.
I said I was gonna do shit and I did it. So it's like if it was done now, like I'll be good. I mean, so
let's talk about your llast fight.
Yeah.
That was weird because I looked at your post and you're like, does this look like a loser or whatever? And I know so much more about MMA and the controversy with the judges and the scoring and I'm starting to realize that it's very similar with boxing. So you felt like you won that last one?
Oh yeah, I won it 100%. Fans had me winning. Everybody had me winning the fight. But it was one of those things where like, it's crazy because I made that fight so easy. And it was a fight where I was supposed to get destroyed.
Okay.
From what the media thought. Right. But like the art of boxing is really getting lost right now. Right. With all the fucking the circuit shows that are happening. It is what it is because like this is how I see it. Like I'm not gonna down talk it how boxing's changing because eventually like shit changes and you just have to adapt to the new shit. It's like we're not listening to like the old school rap from the 80s anymore, right? That shit was popping back in the day, right?
I lived for that stuff, by the way. 80s, 90s, 2000s music.
I feel you.
Yes.
I feel you, but I'm saying I feel you. But what happens, why is Jay-Z the GOAT? Jay-Z the GOAT because he started, his first album was 96.
Okay.
He had a different flow, right?
Yeah.
And then in 2000, he had a different flow, right?
So he adapted, he evolved.
He evolved, he adapted. Like Jay-Z's 50-something years old, he could drop a track right now and it'd be the hottest shit.
Yeah.
But why? Because he's able to adapt where he's not like all the other older rappers that are like, oh, these kids is, back in my day, it was real rappers. It's like, no, you transition. You stay young. You stay hip to what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, that's how I feel boxing is right now because I feel like what I did in my last fight was like, it was art. I controlled the pace. I controlled them with a jab. I did so many things in that fight that the commentators didn't even understand or didn't even appreciate. And that's why what you said earlier, when you said you're talking, you're working with MMA fighters and things like that. So you want to kind of learn the craft so you can have a better understanding of it.
Yes.
And I feel like that's responsible. That's good that you do that. I feel like that's what the fuck commentators in boxing need to do. Take your ass to a gym. You know what I'm saying?
Feel it, experience it.
Take your ass to a gym, do a sparring session.
Yeah.
You'll watch a fight where the commentator who never fought a day in his fucking life, and it's like the last round, he goes like, why is he not letting all out? If he wins this fight, his next fight is $5 million. I'd be throwing everything in the kitchen sink. No, you wouldn't, motherfucker. Because that motherfucker feel like he's about to die right now.
Right.
Because he probably got hit. He probably got hit with a shot to his liver.
Yeah.
That collapsed his legs, and you have no understanding of that feeling because you never experienced it. You don't even know. Maybe his head is ringing. Maybe he got hit with a shot.
Right.
And it's like those are the things that I feel like commentators don't understand. So I feel like my last fight, a lot of things got lost in what I was doing. Yeah.
I can tell you guys that as a newbie, the burning sensation that comes in your shoulders, Who do you have to have in your corner? Like in boxing, is this like a thing for you? Or is there anyone with like good juju that you have to have there every fight? Or is it just like, how do you select who's going to be in your camp?
No, it's your trainer, his assistant,
Okay.
and the cut man.
Always the same people for you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I've had multiple trainers, but if I'm doing a camp, like for instance, Freddie Roach is my trainer, so it's Freddie Roach in the corner, his assistant that he chooses, and then the cut man. That's it. 3 people in the corner.
So you don't have any emotional support in your camp?
I mean, I've had 15-year career, like I've had my dad sometimes in my camps and stuff like that back in the day.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's to the point now where like I don't need that emotional support. Like I don't need nobody.
40 fights in, it's kind of
It's like I do it for me most of the time. You know what I mean? And I feel like at this point, I'm more enjoying the craft and like what I could do because like I see things differently.
Yeah.
The only thing that sucks is that the network, not the network, but the commentators don't know how to make the adjustment of when somebody reinvents themselves. They're so stuck into the bullshit where it's like one fight where I was fucking bloody, and this fight's from like 2014.
Okay.
So I ain't been cut since, but they'll continue to repeat. I wonder if Gabe's gonna get cut in this fight, or and it's like you're so dumb and you don't do your homework that you would know I ain't been cut since 2014, you asshole.
Right.
So when I do get haters on my page, they'll talk about my face being busted up and all this crazy shit. And I'm like, first of all, I got a 15-year career. That was a long time ago.
Right. Right.
Like, I walk out of my fights clean most of the time. My last
fight
I walked out clean.
Yeah.
But it's the narrative. That's the fucked up thing about boxing. It's the narrative. It's what they want you to believe. Is what they want. Is what they want the audience to hear.
To be honest, I don't even think it's that. I think it's whatever information they already possess because people aren't, perhaps, I don't know, doing their homework, like you said.
Oh, they're not doing their homework at all.
I think they're relying on the knowledge that they've accrued over the years.
Yeah. They're not doing no homework at all. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like...
Is it a commentator's responsibility to do their homework, or is that more of like a media person?
No, the commentators should do their homework.
Because they're the ones that are
don't know shit.
Dispersing the information to the public.
The network doesn't even know boxing or nothing. They don't understand the craft.
Right.
It's the commentators are the ones that are calling the shots. Do your homework.
Right.
Learn the fighter. Learn his patterns. You'll understand, like if a fighter brawls in one fight and then the next fight he boxed, there's a reason. Learn why that happened. Understand that so that when you're calling the fight, you're not making it sound boring to the audience. Because if I'm watching a fight and they're pumping this shit up like it's going to be a war, but it becomes a chess match. And now you're talking, you're going like, oh, these guys said they were gonna, blah, blah, blah. And you start talking like that. These guys are, all they're doing is jabbing, and what's going on? When is someone gonna, when you start talking like that, the person listening home now is like, they're buying into your bullshit. But when you go, wow, look at the adjustment he's making. Wow, he's showing a whole different part of his game.
Right.
We're not used to seeing this. Oh, wow, look at that jab. And now you start upping the boxing and the pure science of it. Now you get the audience intrigued to like something different now. But these commentators are so fucking lazy. They don't even realize that shit. They don't even know how to really pitch that.
Wow. Now, in MMA, oftentimes the commentators are old fighters or even current fighters, just, in different divisions. Is it like that in boxing?
In boxing, they'll put a fighter in with the commentators.
Okay, yeah, so it's the same.
So what happens is, depending on what fighter it is, it really depends. Because some fighters will just be happy that they got a fucking job, and they'll run with the narrative of whatever the fucking commentators pitch.
They won't disagree. They'll just go with it
because they got a job.
Right.
Some fighters then don't give a fuck. They'll just say what they want to say.
Probably not get called back.
Which like Roy Jones.
Okay.
One of the best to do it. He gonna call it how he gonna call it.
Okay.
Andre Ward, one of the best to do it. He gonna call it how he gonna call it.
And do they invite them back?
Back in the day, George Foreman on HBO. George Foreman used to talk that shit. No, I'm saying like Lennox Lewis is a good commentator. But these guys are solid guys. These guys are Hall of Famers. These guys ain't gonna, you know what I mean? They're gonna talk their shit because they stamped.
Because they can.
They stamped.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah. So I appreciate listening to those guys, but you'll get these guys where it's like, fuck, here we go with the bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so Freddie Roach is your guy.
Yeah.
If you were to call him right now, would he answer?
Yeah, but I don't call Freddie unless
I'm not gonna make you call him, but I just wanted to know.
I don't call Freddie unless it's like, like some real shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like Freddie is like, me and Freddie, our relationship is all boxing. Mm-hmm. And I don't say that in a way where like it's just all boxing. It's like, to me, boxing is life.
Right.
And to him, boxing is life.
Yeah, that's how
you relate. It's a lifestyle. This shit ain't like something we do. Like, no, this is a lifestyle. It's how we live. Like, I was doing a show earlier today, a hosting job. Mm-hmm. Right? What am I talking about? So
hosting a TV segment.
Yes. And my way of warming up into it is throwing punches. Mm-hmm. I'm like, when it's cut, I'm here. Punching. I'm throwing punches. That's how I get my shit going. That's your baseline. And then like everyone's like, oh shit, like everybody's all scared.
No one's scared of you. No. I mean, in the ring maybe, but
no, but I'm sure some people kind of like are like, what the fuck? But anyway, that's just my way.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's what gets me going. So that's my relationship with Freddie. Like, we could talk boxing all day. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's why I love being with Freddie at this point of my career, because like, I don't want to talk about nothing else. Mm-hmm. I don't want to talk about life shit. Like I don't want to talk about your problems or my problems when I come to the gym. I want to come to the gym and we talking about boxing and get it done. Sticking to the game plan. And it's just that. Yeah. So like, that's what I love about Fred, is like, it's straight boxing. Like, we get into it. Yeah. I think it showed in our last fight. You know what I mean? I was locked in. It wasn't my usual performance, and where like people wants me to just let my hands go all crazy. I boxed. A smart fight.
How's his Parkinson's doing?
Well, he's doing good. I always say like, boxing is what keeps Freddie going. Okay. Like, we'll do, like, it's crazy. I'll do mitts with Freddie, and he'll get me tired. Wow. And he's like, he wants me to punch harder. Harder. And he just like got his shoulder repaired and all this crazy. And he's like, harder. And it's like, it's crazy. Wow. And I do. I let the shots go. And I think that just keeps him going. It keeps him motivated.
Wow, it's something to live for. It's his purpose.
It's his purpose. You know what I'm saying? The moment you take someone's purpose, it's like, the fuck is there to live for, right? Right. One thing that keeps me going is to have an attitude of like gratitude. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like, wake up in the morning and be intentional what you want your day to be. Like, if you wake up in the morning, and you're not always gonna feel great waking up. You know what I mean? You might wake up in a mood, but get yourself out of that mood, because everything's a mindset. Yeah. So like, what I do is like, I'll play a audio of gratitude. And it just be a tape playing of like, thankful for my arms. I'm thankful, like the simplest things. I'm thankful for my arms. I'm thankful for my legs. Nice. And once you start thinking like that, it's like, yo, I got arms. I got legs. Yeah. I'm healthy. Yes. Like, yo, what am I tripping about? You know what I'm saying? Like, once I get into that mind frame, then I can just do what I gotta do for my day. So that's just my thing. Like, just be intentional starting your day. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. I've never thought about saying that I'm thankful for my arms and my legs, which of course I am. It's a blessing to be healthy. Your organs, I'm saying everything. Your eyes, your taste buds, just those little things that we take for granted. Can you imagine if you can't taste food no more? That would suck, but I would be very skinny. No, I'm just saying. It's just like, we really take things for granted. We don't realize how blessed we are. Yeah. So like, the moment I put myself in that space, it's like, I'm like, man, I'm good. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah.
And for me, that workout makes me like super happy for the rest of the day. So now that I've made that connection, let's go every day. Let's go. Yeah.
For sure.
Before we cut off the show, I actually want to see you try on a pair of UFC gloves. So we got Gabe Rosado trying on Neil Magny's signed UFC glove.
So you picture, this is a lefty.
That is, yeah, you can.
Glove. Yeah.
Yeah. So we go here, lock that in, wrap it around. Yeah. How does it feel? Hold it up for the camera.
I don't like the wrist support on it. So
it's different. Having tried these on and then having tried on, the boxing gloves, the gloves that you signed for me actually are always in my shot.
How many ounces are these? These are like 4.
They're dope. I have more coming.
Yeah, they're dope.
Yeah. And when I build my new studio, guys.
I actually would, if I had the opportunity to do a UFC fight and like really train for it, I would love it. I have Bruce Lee on my leg.
I think we could make that happen.
I have Bruce Lee. They couldn't.
They couldn't afford you?
They couldn't afford it.
I had a feeling that was coming because this guy's talking about making millions.
No, I'm just saying they don't
pay the same.
They don't pay the same.
I know.
But I'm saying if I could do a big fight and they are putting the bag up.
Yeah. Maybe through Triller. I mean, maybe that's your chance.
I have to be a big bag.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being on the Jenna Ben Show. Once again, he's awesome. I feel inspired. Give us your Instagram handle so people know how to find you.
It's King Gabriel Rosado. And my gym is Ready Go Bad.
Ready Go Bad. It's called Badlands.
Yep, Badlands.
And I'm going to come work out with you.
For
it's
sure,
downtown LA.
Yeah.
One thing I know about your gym is like before you even open, there was like a line outside the door. I don't know what it is about you, but people just like believe in everything you do. And I'm really happy for your success.
Thank you.
Guys, you can find me at the Jenna Ben Show on Instagram and on YouTube.